Hey folks, and welcome back to the channel. Happy Catty Crypto here. So, more good news coming out of this Cosmos Rebirth AMA that Jared did with his Bytes Digital Group. So, huge shout out to these people for getting this put together. The amount of people that watched this compared to the amount of people that should have watched it was pretty small. So much good news in this. There are links to this in the description of both this video and the video I did before, so feel free to go over and just listen to it. If you're driving, it's a real easy listen. There are a few things to look at on screen, so obviously don't be looking at those whilst you're driving. But anyway, let's get on with it. So as you can see from the title of the video, this is really getting down to when's TS Mobile coming, when's the dashboard coming back, and stuff like that, and a little bit about what they've been speaking about during this AMA, directly addressing LUNC, and it's actually really funny what you're going to hear. So first of all, let's start off with the TS Mobile. We're going to be skipping through this to bits where I've marked them out.
Our web app extension in desktop and mobile. So we've launched web extension in desktop with interchain support, and we'll be launching mobile in, well, depending on when we can finish it in the next month, maybe month and a half. We have another mobile designer or another mobile engineer starting on Monday. Yeah. So I'll probably have like a hard timeline for mobile within the next 2 weeks. The body of work is similar, although a little bit different. And what we're doing with it is going to begin creating a larger divergence between the two applications. So at the moment, your desktop application actually builds off of the web application. So you could think of it as like a custom Chrome browser that sits on your desktop.
Yeah.
So as you can see, the TS mobile app's likely to be fully launched in the next month to month and a half. But what it seems like Jared is saying is it will be running side by side with the actual TS mobile app. So it looks like we'll always have a buffer all the way up until this one and a half month has passed, and they're happy that everybody can just utilize the station mobile app as it is. So that's really good news. It's really good to see that, because they speak about taking a lot of time with updates and allowing the community to process things. They like to give things a set amount of time. So he's going to be laying out a definitive roadmap for TS Mobile within the next 2 weeks, as he has stated there. So let's move forward to around the 6-minute mark. So that was funny because it landed at exactly the same time I said. So, okay, here we go.
But now it seems like they've come around, and they seem pretty excited that,
Oh, it's actually funny because a lot of people don't know that Coach Bruce is just LUNC down. LUNC down is just Coach Bruce, but
wasn't very happy with Luna, wasn't very happy with TFL. But now it seems it's interesting to see kind of that community that do have a little bit more knowledge about, and that's our good friends over at Luna Classic. I know that there's been chatter, and shout out to Coach Bruce for his whole merge narrative, whether that's total bullshit or not. I think it's interesting to see.
So there will never ever be what is seen as a technical merge, where you would literally see two blockchains merge together, because of a simple fact: there's 130 active validators on each blockchain, and there just can't be 260 on one blockchain. It's not built like that. The governance doesn't work like that. It's not tested for all of that. It's never going to happen on a technical level, but we could see it on a developer scale, helping each other and utilizing each other's technology. But Station's doing this anyway. So this whole idea around a merge is pretty funny, because we're pretty much merging anyway. The whole of the Cosmos is merging under Station. So more or less it has been happening in its own way, shape and form. So let's continue to listen to what they've got to say about Luna Classic, because I think it's really funny and it's also really interesting. And huge shout out to Bytes Digital Group once again.
See kind of that community that, at one point wasn't very happy with Luna, wasn't very happy with TFL, but now it seems like they've come around, and they seem pretty excited that, they've been included in the upgrades to Station. So Jared, can you just kind of give like a brief history of how you've interacted with them and supported Luna Classic with Station, and now with Interchain Station?
Yeah, so I've been at TFL since Columbus 4. and I was validating starting on Columbus 3. So I've got a long history, like, personally with that chain. And I can say, like, as a start to interacting between at least like myself and that community, there was a period in time where we, like, TFL was like not allowed to say stuff. So I know that that period was at best confusing. I think we can at least say that. Um, but I mean, we built it. Like, it's really hard to say that there's no passion for something that you've built. I don't think anyone at TFL is like, I don't know, screw that chain forever. It's like, it's maybe a bit saddening for some, or maybe they don't want to deal with it directly. Everyone grieves in different ways. But the bottom line is that, like, we built it. Like, we were in the trenches there from the start. And so, bringing it like way forward into station support recently for Interchain, there we honestly didn't think people were going to keep using Luna Classic when we started Phoenix. That just wasn't a consideration we had. So we kept the same Best32 address. The Phoenix chain was meant to be a rebirth of Terra, and that's what we did. We didn't really consider.
So just to point out there, they actually honestly thought Luna Classic would just die as it was. So they never changed any of the Bech32 formats. Everything was more or less the same.
That there would be any long-term implications of some of those decisions. More that we needed to build somewhere where people were able to continue building their smart contracts, continue building their communities, that developers were able to continue building on a platform on a layer 1 that was no longer broken. And so we delivered that product, Phoenix, the Phoenix blockchain. And I think probably one of the larger unintended consequences, at least for that community at the moment, is that the Bech32 addresses remain the same. So they both have a prefix of Terra. And in the Interchain implementation of Station, we associate the movement of Interchain funds via that prefix first. The kind of numbers that follow that are determined by your derivation path, but that prefix is going to remain the same for whatever chain it's in. So we're using that to identify, we want to send from here to here. And as we obfuscate pieces from the user of that interface, it's going to become more important that we don't mix up any transactions. So that was our first issue. And so we explored a little bit in fixing that. And it's just a problem no one's fixed yet. So it's a little bit intense doing a chain upgrade and changing that prefix. There are a lot of things that break when you do that. And so it just became untenable for the classic community to do. And then as we made more and more and more changes to the way that we organized the back end of Station, we came to a realization, something I had suggested at the start, but it just wasn't feasible because of the way that we had things laid out. But we took another look a couple days before launch, and actually PFC helped me form a plan on it. And we were like, hey, I think we can make this as a chain archetype. It's a little messy.
So as you can see, as we was rolling up to that whole Station release, and we did the video here on HCC about Jared saying we've got a special update for the Luna Classic community, that came from a lot of work from PFC nodes and TFL side. From what we can see, Jared's telling us they actually had to put in the work that was not put in by Luna Classic. What is concerning with this slight bit here is PFC nodes left the L1 development team. PFC nodes has obviously been doing a lot of good work in the background. It's always good to see that, because the people who do a lot of work are not always the people who sit on Twitter posting back to back. They just don't have the time for that. And sometimes I find I don't have the time for everything because I'm always working on all of these different things, of all these different projects. building all of these different things. So this is really good to see this honesty coming out and us actually hearing it from an unbiased opinion. I'm really enjoying hearing Jared talk and what he's got to say about things. So what we're going to do now, because this video is going to run a little bit longer than normal, it's going to be around 15 minutes. We're going to jump to the 14-minute mark because everybody's wondering, where is the dashboard on station, right? When are we going to get the dashboard back? We're all wondering it, the same as what we were wondering with mobile. So I think this more or less answers the situation around the new station dashboard. Sorry for the pause there.
Ready to go on to some alpha leaks only.
All right, well, hold on. Let's make them continue to hold their breath because we do have one question here from Ape Depto TV, who's an avid fan of the show. They said, when dashboard on new station? Jared, when dashboard?
Yeah, so we removed the dashboard intentionally for one, simplification. We wanted less things in station and those fewer things to be done better. So I would consider that like either Q2 or Q3 thing. I don't want to compromise on the dashboard. Like if we're going to bring it back, then what I want to do is include that as part of the developer experience. So these are items that aren't in the backlog, perhaps on the roadmap, but not like in our board that we're looking at every day to solve. So if you look at something like Rainbow Wallet's developer kit, you're able to like just download in one line, like a deployment of that as a widget or as an extension. It's super simple. We're going to get there. And as part of that, I would like to include a development kit for this dashboard. So whatever items we use ultimately there, say you have like, I don't know, some token balances or like a chart that you like, I've got on my phone, like the top 5 coins I want on a dashboard.
So to simplify this, what they're saying is they didn't want to put the dashboard in straight away because they wanted less things to deal with in the beginning. It's not something that's essential right now, and there are other sources for dashboard style things. But what Jared is looking at now is providing developers kits. So for instance, we developed LUNC Penguins for the community. We could develop a LUNC Penguins development kit for the station application, and you could choose to utilize our kit to have all of these kind of things that we more focus on inside the LUNC community, because with station there's so many blockchains that are going to be under this. Jared says in this, as more blockchains join, his understanding of all of these different blockchains is going to become smaller and smaller and smaller just because there's so much to deal with, and that's totally normal. But the fact that they're going to allow people to decide what they would like on their dashboards, it's a game changer. And that is likelihood coming in Q2, Q3 of this year. So really exciting stuff to look forward to. And like I said, there's so much information in this 43-minute clip. I'm thinking about doing a live stream tomorrow where we just kind of go through it, listen to it, and we can just pause, ask questions, and we can kind of break things down a little bit better for the community. But some amazing stuff going on for us this year. I honestly believe that us following the station route instead of following the Rebel station route was a no-brainer for myself, but getting people to try and understand that back when there wasn't all of this information, it's so complex. But our future is so interweaved into the cosmos now that we just don't understand what we are actually part of right now. The amount of development and manpower that gets taken away from what we actually need to do minimizes. And like I said in the previous video, we can then start to focus on solving problems that really do need solving. And there's so many people that speak about obviously burning coins. There are different ways for us to burn coins at a drastic scale, but you're going to need different kind of liquidity pools and all different kinds of funding and revenue streams and all of these different kind of things. But this is what we can begin to focus on now. once we're part of all of this. So I'm really excited. I'm glad they're taking the correct amount of time, because I thought to myself, Station was a little bit rushed. There's still things wrong with the Station web app right now, and the Terra Station, and the Station desktop app as well. So I did feel like it was all a little bit rushed. So hopefully this is going to give them due time to process everything, get more information out for us. And for people who are wondering about Ledger, there is a part in here about Ledger. I don't know where, I think it's more towards the end. Jared does get a Ledger out and explain a few things, but I think what this means is we're going to, so people who use the auto compounding module can't use it with Ledger, because Ledger doesn't interact with the extensions and all of this kind of stuff. Hopefully this will lead to people on Ledger being able to utilize the system because of TFL and Ledger both talking now. This is really good. Really excited about this. Let me know what you think about this in the comment section. I hope this has brought you up to scratch a little bit and kind of gets you into a position where you feel like you know where you stand. You feel like you kind of know where we're going and how long things are going to take. Be patient and just stay safe, guys. You know, we can't stress that enough here. There's so many scams that go around. Make sure you're using the correct link, and beware of scammers, beware of doppelgangers, beware of anybody pretending to be me or anybody else. Question everything. You can come to our Telegram group, ask us questions if you need to. And yeah, just stay safe. You can drop a sub if you feel like it. Drop a little like on the way out. It really does help the channel. You can delegate coins with us. We do burn 50% of our yield once a month. Guys, catch you in the next one. No, this is financial advice.